In episode 6 of the pre-code horror comic book reprints, we're going to take a look at Yoe Books' Haunted Horror series. This series started around 2012 with editors Steve Baines, Clazia Gusoni, and Craig Yoe. Contributing editors Tillman Korth, Mike Howlett, Toxic Tommy O'Brien, and Jim Vadaboncourt. As we can see, the full-color reprints are really quite good. And for instance, this one, City of Fearful Night, which was drawn by none other than the great Bernard Baily from Worlds of Fear number 2, January 1952, looks quite good in the reproduction. Now, the way they did these books is that they kind of just put together a variety of different stories from various publishers. So you didn't have, for instance, one issue of Haunted Horror, which was, Worlds of Fear, all Worlds of Fear. No, you had a variety of issues which would have, for instance, a story from Chamber of Chills, The Unseen, Beware, just a variety of different comic books and stories that they would kind of mash in, to a particular issue. And that's fine, the reproduction, as far as I'm concerned, is really quite good. So I don't really have any complaints with the way that they, put the various stories together in these issues. There we go, with some weird love for you right in there. Yeah. So here we go with Haunted Horror number 15, featuring that awesome Bernard Baily cover, I believe from Weird Mysteries number 4 originally. And this issue, for example, has Nightmare Come True. And that's from Journey into Fear number 9, September 1952. Of course, Iger Shop. And I can kind of tell you, I would say that is a Robert Webb human right there. So there you go. Robert Webb loved to do these like circular panels like this, and his, his faces and bodies and so forth had a certain look. So I'm going to say Robert Webb for the pencils on this story. There's Mark of the Brute right in there. Now this is from Weird Terror number 11, and that is Don Heck art. Don Heck, who would go on to do a lot of stuff for Marvel, superheroes, and so forth. But here he is in the early 50s doing pre-code horror comics. Haunted Horror number 16, featuring that fabulous George Russo's cover from Out of the Shadows. That is just fantastic. Now, one of the great things too is they had the three editors, Steve Baines, Clazia Gusoni, and Craig Yoe, also had their own characters who introduced the stories. For instance, this is Craig Yoe, and he's Forlock the Warlock, drawn by Angelo Torres. This one definitely was, as you can see by the signature there. Strange Stories number 4, The Man Who Outdistanced Death. And that is George Evans' art right there. See what? Oh, that's a nice back cover for an advertisement for Weird Love. You know you want it. Now these are something I'll get to a little later, but just really well done reprints here. Here we go. I Give You the Finger of Guilt. This is from Adventures into Darkness, artist John Solardo. Nice little, I love that. Solardo is quite good with his shadows and so forth. Oh, the Black Death. Now this is a classic. The Black Death, giant fucking army ants that like to devour humans, as you can see there. Now this is from Fantastic Fears number 4. Art, of course, by Igershop. And this was redrawn in a 1960s issue, I believe, of Weird for Eerie Publications. The Mummy here was, of course, used in many of the Beware Terror Tales issues that was published by Fawcett in the early 50s. This particular story, which is quite fantastic, Search into the Unknown, was drawn by Maurice Gutworth, a very popular pre-code horror comics artist. So really quite a great issue there. I highly recommend it. And for Haunted Horror number 17, we have an excellent reproduction of a great L.B. Cole cover. I mean, every one of his covers is fantastic. But this is from, I believe, from Spook number 25. Take a look at that. Yep, July 1953. So here we go. Here's another host, Mr. Carswell. Very creepy magazine style, which is totally cool. This one was done by Art Fuentes. Really well done. Really cool looking. And here we go with the first story, Escape to Death. This was from Dark Mysteries, number 14, 1953. Art by John D. Agostino. Television Ghost. Television Ghost. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Well, there's Mr. Mystery on the scene. So we know where this story's coming from. And it is indeed from Mr. Mystery number 1, September of 1951. Revolt of the Fingers. Now, this is from Beware Horror Tales, once again. There, of course, is the Mummy introducing the story. And that's Beware, I think that's Beware Terror Tales. I don't know what it's issue number 4, November 1954. Art by Bob McCarty. Really, really great artist. I mean, check out those colors. That's really quite cool, too. Just really love the way his style, and the colorist, obviously, definitely deserves a tip of the hat here. And as you can see, IDW's really clean with their reproductions. These look really good. I have no complaints whatsoever with these issues. You know, they're just fantastic. I just love in particular, this story, the way they did the colors is fantastic. Haunted Horror number 18 with an absolutely fabulous cover that was taken from Weird Tales of the Future number 8, I believe, and of course by none other than Bernard Baily for Stanley Morris. Stanley Morris did indeed publish Weird Tales of the Future. Just a great cover. I mean, the guy's like, you know, missing his heart there, which has been taken out, and there it is, sitting there beating, and he's just kind of watching it in terror. That's what we call pre-code, folks. Here's the gorgeous Madame Clézia as your hostess with the mostess. Now this one was actually drawn by Drazen Kozan, and really well done too. So she's another one. Of course, it's Clézia Gusoni, the editor. So it's really cool the way that they made themselves these, you know, monstrous characters. I really kind of dig that. And so we start off with The Moon Was Red, folks. right there. From Web of Mystery number 18, 1953. Artist Lou Cameron. Really cool looking sea creature there. And let's see what else. Let's see what. Well, I saw Murder Mansion. You can't go wrong there. But let's take a look here. There's the Mummy once again, introducing a story, The Tattooed Heart, from Beware Terror Tales number 6. And really interesting with this one, interesting to note, the artist Harry Harrison, who of course went on to become a rather famous science fiction writer. He wrote Make Room, which is the basis for Soylent Green, okay, and the Stainless Steel Rat series by Harry Harrison. But he was an artist too. He drew comics. And this is some of his handiwork here. Yes, indeed. Oh, Haunted Hotel, which is from Adventures into Darkness, number 13, 1954. And this is the artist Gene Fawcett. Yes. Okay, I guess that was just a one-pager. Wow. And then we go to, I love this, The Flaming Horror. Right. From Witch's Tales number 10. Art Joe Certa. And I'm just going to show a few quick covers here from some other issues of Haunted Horror. This is their Eerie Publications Tribute number 22 with the great Don Heck cover, which is just absolutely fantastic. I think this is one of the best covers that Don Heck actually did for Pre-Code Comics. Love that. Now check this out. Now this is Haunted Horror number 30 with your host, El Diablo. There he is. But what's really cool is this cover. Check that out. The artist, Gus Rica. And that is just fantastic. I love the reproduction of this. I think they really did a great job. And this is from, the cover's from Dynamic Comics number 8. And it's showing 1943. So this is, this is absolute golden age. We're talking a few years after Superman Action Comics number 1 came out. And that is just creepy as all hell, 1943. Wow, folks. There you go. Highly recommended. Haunted Horror number 30. And it's got, first story is Nightmare Carnival, which was from The Beyond, number 28, 1954. Artist Ken Rice. I love this too. Really, really well done, classy El Diablo intro. Welcome to hell. No, welcome to Florida, folks. Right there. Loving it. Loving that cover. Haunted Horror number 31 with that great cover by the amazing Matt Baker from Amazing Ghost Stories. That is just fantastic. And again, here we go with another illustration of Mr. Carswell. This time by Drazen Kozin. I just love that. Really well done. Very creepy-esque style. Art. And we start off with the Death Head. Now there's a host that you don't see much. I don't even know who this guy is. But it's from Mysterious Adventures number 10. Pretty cool. Art by Hy Fleischman. Web of the Spider. There he is. And this is from Witch's Tales number 12. Art Joe Certa. We got Haunted Horror number 32. Lovely cover on that. Really digging it. And with your horror host there, Madame Clézia. Number 32. Nice. Number 33. Who can forget, folks? Number 33 here. That great painted cover. Now, Norm Saunders, the artist, was famous for his painted covers. I'm going to remove this so you guys can check it out in detail here. But that is just such a great cover. It's a zombie coming out of the water. Yeah, and this was that was from Strange Stories from Another World number 4. And Norm Saunders just did some gorgeous pre-code horror covers. He was really quite a master. And our final issue, and I believe that I have, is issue number 34. And this one is great. You Are the Murderer. Now, I believe that's a Harry Harrison cover. Once again, Harry Harrison, the guy that he would go on to become a rather famous science fiction author. Yeah, it's from Beware number 15, 1953, and that is indeed the art of Harry Harrison. I love that cover. Really ghastly ghoul there. Very well done. And so we have Dinner for One here, starting off the whole affair. And this was from I believe, One Shot. I may be wrong. The Tormented number 1, 1954. Mike Sikowski art. The Horror Heads. Yes, the Horror Heads. And this is from Beware number 11. Once again, interior art here, the pencils by the great Harry Harrison. It came from the bottom of the world right here, folks. Tales of Terror. Number 9, Jack Sparling, artist on this particular issue, story. Okay, let's take a look here. See if we got something. No, that's a nice splash page right there. You Are the Murderer. And this is from Crime Mysteries, number 9, 1953. And here we have The Coffin. Another great splash page from none other than Ross Andrew for Mysterious Adventures, number 19, April of 1954. So if we look in the back of this issue, as with all of these issues, you'll find that they advertise their massive volumes of, collected horror with kind of themes. That's kind of what they would do with these volumes. And they'd put them out, I believe they were just hardback. I've got a few, and they are just hardcover. And, for instance, you got the haunted horror here, which is The Screaming Skulls and Much More, Volume 5. And then Haunted Horror, let's see, Nightmare of Doom and Much, Much More, Volume 6. And, so they would do things like, I've got one of these VOODOO sets. I think it's Volume 1. This is Volume 3, so it's the complete VOODOO. They put them all out. And they're really well done. The hardcovers are great. I highly recommend them. And for instance, here's one where it's just it's a hardcover once again, and it's a collection of mummy tales from the pre-code era, and of course, oddly enough, called Mummies. Fiction House. Now this is another book they put out on the great Fiction House, which was 40s, 50s. Introduction by Roy Thomas. Just fantastic. And I believe this cover is, of course, by the great Lily Renée. Howard Nostrand's Nightmares. Now that's a hardcover volume, collection of Howard Nostrand's work. He was a great artist, did a ton of stuff for Harvey. And then, of course, there's Eerie Publications, the worst of Eerie Publications, right there. Highly recommended. If you love those Eerie pubs, you got to get this book. It is by Mike Howlett. This volume has got an intro by Jerry Only of the Misfits. Of course, they used that infamous Chamber of Chills cover from Harvey Comics pre-code. And you can just see there's just loads of volumes that these guys put out. You got Jack Cole's Deadly Horror, Bob Powell's Terror volume, Dick Briefer's Frankenstein. You got that. You got a Ditko volume, actually 2 Ditko volumes right there. And then you have the Ditko Monsters. Fantastic. Ditko Shorts. And then their other volumes include Zombies, a collection of zombie stories, and of course that none other than the great, fantastic Lee Elias doing that cover, which was originally on the Chamber of Chills. That pretty much wraps it up. So, you know, to sum things up, I highly recommend Yoe Books IDW's reprints. They're really great. You can get them reasonably priced at various places, of course, on eBay. You can find even lots of these, you know, books. You can pick up 4 or 5 or whatever and get an even better price. But the reproductions are really good. They're very clean. The colors are great, and they're as I said, they're affordable as well. You know, so I highly recommend the Haunted Horror series by Yoe Books and IDW.